UAE teacher licensing has begun. The KHDA's targets for schools are ambitious and pressing. As your school's leader, you no doubt agree with the long-term aim of raising the nation's teaching standards, but you're probably more immediately concerned about the financial and human resources that licensing will require and how this will impact the students to whom you are committed to teaching every day. Teacher licensing isn't complex, but the scale and immediacy of what you need to achieve may be daunting. However, solutions and shortcuts are ready and available. The Talal Institute can help you support teachers through licensing, ensuring that you not only meet KHDA's milestones efficiently, but that the process of doing so adds value to the education of your students. We'd like to introduce you to Amira, a principal at a foundation stage to Year 13 school in Dubai. Like all principals, Amira is required to submit teacher licensing applications for 25% of her staff by June of 2018. She needs to start with her Arabic and Islamic studies teachers, identified as Priority 1, followed by the Math and Science teachers, Priority 2, and then all other teachers. In order to secure their provisional licenses, Amira's teachers would need to assemble some key documentation. They need a certificate of good conduct from the Dubai Police and the equivalent from the authorities of any additional countries the teacher has lived in during the past 5 years. They need a letter from the school stating that they are fit to teach both physically and mentally. They need a copy of their employment contract and UAE residency. They need evidence of English language proficiency, either in the form of IELTS scores or, in the case of schools rated good or above, a letter from the school principal. Finally, and most importantly, they need to provide a copy of their teaching qualification or evidence that they are enrolled in a qualifying program. Once in receipt of their provisional licenses, Amira's teachers would embark on the journey to obtain a full license, or competent teacher status, for which they have 12 months. To be awarded competent teacher status, each teacher would need to complete 6 compulsory PLD modules. They would need to write a reflective statement or philosophy of education. They would need to sit a specialist exam or primary generalist exam. They would need to take the exam for TEL's UAE Standard 1, and depending on where their qualification was issued, they may also need to take exams for Standards 2, 3, and 4. All of this would need to be assembled into a mini portfolio. While the licensing process seemed relatively straightforward, Amira had some concerns regarding educational qualifications. The staff at her new school was diverse and came from all over the world. Who would need new qualifications, and what would the impact be on financial and human resources? Amira met with Talal to gain some clarity on how the requirements would affect each of her teachers. Raymond, for example, was an experienced primary teacher from Canada with a bachelor's degree in education. Raymond, like all other teachers, would need to complete a mini portfolio. He would need to take the compulsory PLD modules, write a reflective statement, pass a primary generalist exam, and sit the exam for Standard 1. Because his teaching qualification was from one of the 6 approved countries, Raymond would be exempt from sitting exams for Standards 2, 3, and 4. Annie was a secondary maths teacher. She had a bachelor's degree in education from a university in India. As well as completing the mandatory requirements, including a subject specialist math exam, she would also be required to take the exams for Standards 2, 3, and 4. Paul was a secondary science teacher, specifically chemistry, in which he had a master's degree. He had been teaching for almost 10 years and had been consistently rated good or outstanding. However, he didn't have a recognized teaching qualification, and in order to obtain a provisional teacher license, he would need to be enrolled in a qualifying program. Amira was duly concerned about the time and expense a program might require for a teacher like Paul, as well as many of her Arabic and Islamic studies teachers. Fortunately, Talal was able to offer a solution. Recognition of Prior Learning, or RPL, offers experienced, high-performing teachers the opportunity to fast-track through Talal's teaching qualification, waiving up to 66% of their requirements. With a full understanding of the teacher licensing requirements and process, Amira could see that she needed preparation for teacher licensing for all of her staff, a means of delivering the 6 compulsory PLD modules to her staff, an e-portfolio platform that could be used during teacher licensing and license renewal in 3 years' time, And finally, access to KHDA-approved qualifying programs, which took into account the level of her staff's skills and experience. Talal worked with Amira to create a package of solutions to fit her requirements. Talal's Teacher Preparation for Licensing, or TP4L, would provide all of Amira's English and Arabic-speaking teachers with exam practice for the 4 standard exams, guidance on how to write a reflective statement, a module supporting teachers in preparation for the IELTS, and an e-portfolio builder for both the mini portfolio and for renewal of licensing. Talal's online platform would deliver the 6 compulsory PLD modules in English and Arabic, enabling Amira's teachers to work at a time that suited them best and to provide evidence required for the mini portfolio. For the staff requiring formal teaching qualifications, Amira opted for the KHDA-approved apprenticeship in teaching practice, with the fast-track RPL option where eligible. RPL not only would reduce qualification time, but Amira was pleased to find that there were significant cost savings too. With Talal on board, Amira enrolled the Arabic and Islamic Studies teachers requiring qualifications on Talal's ATP so that they could secure their provisional licenses. Next, her full Arabic and Islamic Studies staff began the TP4L. Through the program's online needs analysis, the team at Talal and the Sharik Language Center could determine which teachers were eligible for recognition of prior learning and in which areas it should be applied. Amira could then see who of her teachers could be fast-tracked and who would need to complete the full ATP qualification. Together, Talal and Amira developed a schedule for the delivery of the Arabic ATP at Amira's school. With the ATP, TP4L, and compulsory PLD well underway for Priority 1 teachers, Amira enrolled the next tier of teachers into the process. Teachers such as Paul, the chemistry teacher, who required formal education qualifications, could enroll in the ATP, receiving recognition of prior learning. Those who preferred to do so could opt for one of Talal's internationally recognized qualifications. As her staff applied for and received their provisional licenses, they were inducted into the TP4L and completed their journeys to competent teacher status. We hope that Amira's story has given you some clarity into how teacher licensing may apply to your school. For a full consultation or to find out how our licensing solutions can get your school's teacher licensing on track, simply get in touch.